Welcome to the 6th week of the 3 months data analyst roadmap. In this week we are going to complete our Power BI project that we started in the 5th week, and today we will be working on the dashboard that we left in the previous week. So in the previous week, in the first video of Power BI, we started cleaning our data and importing the data to Power BI, and in this video we are going to design a dashboard from the data that we have imported to our Power BI file. So without further ado, let's begin. So this is the file that we worked on in the previous week. We imported our data to this file. So let me double click this to open it. So this is the file that we worked on in the previous week. We have our data on the right that you can see. We have employees table, expense types, expenses, meals, properties, sales, and states. This is the data that we imported in the previous week, and in this week we are going to design a dashboard using this data. So first of all, let's talk about the canvas. This is our canvas where we can add our charts, and then finally we can build our dashboard from here. So first of all, let's give it a background. If I click this canvas, you can see that this is the visualization section. In the visualization section we have all the charts available to us, and if I click this format your report page, then I'll see these options. In these options we have one option for canvas background. Let me click this arrow right, and we can see we can give it a background color, or we can select a background image. So for this dashboard, I have an image. Let me click this browse, and this is the image that we are going to import as a background. Let me click open. Now this is imported here, and we have a background for our canvas. If we come down here, we see image fit. It's normal, but we will select fit, so it can be fit as a complete background. Now we have different chart types. First of all, in the top row we will add the KPIs, or the top level indicators that we want to see. So let me first add a card here. You can see this is a card visual. If I click it, it will appear here. Currently it's empty because we have not added anything to this. If I click this card and go to our data, we can add anything here, but first of all let me add some information from the sales. Currently I want to see the amount that we are making from our sales, so let me drag this amount column to this field section, and as soon as I add this amount here, it will update the visual here. We see 11 million sum of amount. Now I need to format this visual. If I click this and go to this format your visual section, there are two tabs, visual and general. And general, we set general settings for any visual, but in visual section we see specific properties and specific settings for a selected visual. Currently we have call out value and category label. Category label is this sum of amount. Let me turn this off, so we can see only 11 million. And in the call out value, let's change the font size. I want to change it to 25. It's okay. And let's see the value decimal places. I'll increase this to 2, so we see the exact amount, and that's it. Now let's collapse this. Let's resize this visual to an actual size. I see this as a fit. Let me drag it to the corner. Now let's go to general and format this. Let's go to the effects. In effects we can change the background color. Let me select a background like this one, and that's it. Let's go back to visual, call out value, and let's change the color. So I want to select this 10% darker, a white color which is 10% darker, and this looks fine to me. Now let's go back to the general, go to effects, and go to visual border. Let's turn this on, change its color to white. And do you want to round the corners? No, I don't want to round the corners. If I click here, we can see this as a formatted card. Here as a card we will add all the KPIs that we need in our report. So first of all, I added this. Let me give it a title. So I need to select this visual, go to format your visual, go to general settings, and in the title, let's turn the title on and give it a title. So this is, let's call it revenue, and let's change the font of the revenue. So here I need to change the color to this, and let's align it center. So this is how we change the format of the visuals that we add here. So now we have 11.02 million revenue. I want to add another card. So if I start adding another card from the scratch and I start formatting that card, it will take a lot of time. So instead of adding another card, I can click this card, Control C, and press Control V to paste it here. Let me place this to the right of the revenue card. Now I need to select this and remove this sum of amount. Now let's add the quantity of meals that have been sold. So let me drag it here, and now we can see that it's 1.12 million. Let's change the title. Now you know how to change the title. Go to format your visual, go to general tab. In the title, come and change the title from this text. This is quantity sold. So that's it, we added 2 cards. Now we can add another card as well. Just click here, press Ctrl C and Ctrl V, place it to the right of the existing ones, and this time we need to add our expenses here. So let me go to expenses and let me add the amount of expenses here. We have this much expenses. Let's go to format your visual, go to general, go to title and change the title. This is expenses. We added 3 cards here which are our KPIs and which we want to see in our report. To the right, this area I will leave this empty for now. Later on I will come to this section and I will add some filters here. So now let's add a chart here. Let me add this stacked column chart. If I click this, we will see an empty stacked column chart. First of all, here I want to see the total sales by states. So what we can do is to first come to states, get the name of states and add it in this X axis. Now go to sales and add the amount of sales to the Y axis. So you will see all these amounts in every states, but you can see that it's showing all the states. We do not want to see all the states. We only want to see top 5 states here. So let me drag this like this one, and now let's go to this filters section. In this filters section, we can use this area to filter our reports. For example, currently I want to see top 5 states, not all, so I need to filter this. What I can do is to come here and get this state name in this add data fields here to this section. It says it's basic filtering selected. If I click this and I select top N, now I need to see top 5 states. Top 5 states by value. By which value? By the value of sales amount. So let me drag this amount to this by value section, and now if I apply filter, you will see only top 5 sales by sales amount. So let me collapse this filter section and click this visual to format it. So for formatting, if I click this and go to format your visual, again you will have 2 sections, visual and general. In the visual, in the X axis, because this has 2 axes, X and Y, we have formatting for both of them. In the X axis, let me turn off this title. Title is this name that we can see in this visual. If I turn this off, it will hide the name here. Go to values and change the formatting. So here the color is black, we need to change it to white for both X axis and Y axis. Go to X axis and change the color to white. Now let's go to general tab and change some formatting. First of all, let's go to the title and change this title. We can say that this is sales by state. Let's change the color to white, align it to center, and I think that is enough for this one. Now let's go to effects and change the background color. The color should be this one, and I think it looks good now. We just need to drag this to the right. Okay, so that is formatted. Let's now add this stacked bar chart. If I click it, it will appear here, but I want to drag it to the right of the existing chart. Now in this chart I want to see sales by meals. So let me go to sales and drag this amount to this X field. Let's go to meals and drag this name to this Y field. Now we see sales by meal, but again we want to see only top 5 sales. So let me click this visual, go to filters, and now again we need to add the fields here. So first of all, I need to add the name field to add data fields here. Select top n from this filter type, and I need to see top 5 meals, and the data field is this amount field. So if I apply filter, we will see only top 5 meals. Now for formatting, we don't need to format all this from scratch. We can click this existing stacked column chart and select this format painter from the home ribbon, format painter, and click this bar chart. It will set the formatting as we have in this stacked column chart. Now we have this formatted, but we need to set some properties that needs changes. For example, we need to change the title from sum of amount to by name to something meaningful. So let me click this chart, go to this format your visual, go to general, and in the title section, let's change the title. Now this is also formatted. Another thing that I want to see is sales in every month. Let me click this page and click this line chart. So if I click this line chart, it will appear here. Let me drag this to the right. Usually the line charts are used to show time series analysis. So currently we will see sales by every month. So let me select this date and bring it to the x-axis, and select this amount and add it to the y-axis. So this is the chart that we have currently. When we select this date, Power BI automatically adds the date hierarchy to this date, that we have year here, quarter, month, and day. We can remove all of them and leave month only. So let me remove year, quarter, and day, and leave month. So if I leave month only, we see the sales in every month like this. Now if we select this line chart and go to format your visual, here we see x-axis is enabled, y-axis is enabled, and we have a lot of other options if we see below. Currently the markers section is off. Let's turn this on so we can see the markers. The data labels is off. If you want to see data labels, you can turn this on. I want to see this, so I will turn this on. The lines, you can change the line style, the line shape. For example, you can select dashed, solid, or dotted. I think solid is okay for now. Let me close this. You can see all these settings and you can change them if you want to. If you go to grid lines, we can turn this grid lines off like this, and now we can format our visual. So again, instead of formatting this from scratch, we can select any of these charts. I will select this bar chart, click format painter, and click this one. It will automatically format this for us, and we can change the settings that are not formatted, and we can format it according to our choice. But currently this is formatted properly, and one thing that I need to do is to go to the data labels and turn this on again. So the data labels is turned on. Let's go to settings, go to values, and change the font. So let me select this white color. Now they are changed. Let's go to general and change the title. This is sales by month. So this is another chart added here. Now we have one more table, that is properties. In this properties, all the hotels are listed. So if we go to this table view and select this properties table, we can see this is the data that we have in the properties table, where we have property ID, name of the hotel, the state ID where this hotel is located, and the manager ID. So let's go to our report view and see sales by each property. So let me again add a chart. Let me add this bar chart again. It will appear right here, and let's change the settings. In the X field, in the Y field, I want to add the name, and in the X field I want to add the sales amount. So this is how the chart will appear here. Let me select this and filter the data again. Let's add the name in the data field section. Select top N, and we want to see top 5 by sales amount. So if I add this and I apply the filter, we will only see top 5 properties, top 5 hotels by sales. So let me click this bar chart, click format painter, and click this. This will automatically change the formatting for us. One thing I want to do is to show the data labels here. I want to see the data labels. So click that chart, go to format your visuals and turn this data labels option on. Go to its settings and change the formatting of the values. So select this white color and it will show the values here. One more thing we need to do is to change the title. Let me change the title of this and say that this is top 5 hotels by sales, and it will appear here. Let me close this filter section so we can see our report. Now let's add some filters on top so we can filter our report based on certain criteria. For that we need to go to this visuals section and find the filter. This is slicer or filter visual. Let me click this page, click filter. It will add this empty filter here. Now if I select this filter and go to its settings, first of all we need to add a field here so you can filter on that. The first thing that I want to add here to this is the date of the sales. So let me add date as a field, and again let me click this section and show date hierarchy. Remove this year, remove month, remove day, and leave quarter only. Now you see there are 4 quarters listed here in the filter section. And now let's go to the format your visual section. Select slicer settings. This is now shown as a vertical list. If I click this and select tile, it will be shown like this. Let's adjust the height and width of this visual like this and drag it to the top. Let's set the height properly. Now we have this filter section here. Let me click a card, click format painter and change the formatting of this filter. Now this is how it looks like. Now let's say turn off this slicer header. Okay, that's fine. Slicer header is turned off. Let's go to general, go to effects, and the background is already changed. We saw this. We have a visual border. Okay, so let me click the values and see the settings here. Let me change this to white like this, and let's make it bold. Let's see the background and change the background accordingly. Let's select this color. Okay, let's select the border. We have border everywhere. Let's change the border color to white like this one. Yes, now we can see them properly. And let's increase the width of the line of the border. I think this looks very good now. If we click any of the quarters here like quarter 1, quarter 2, 3 or 4, all the reports will be updated accordingly. Let's test this. If I select quarter 1, yes, it updates all the reports. If I select quarter 2, and it updates the entire report accordingly. If I want to remove the filter, I will just need to click quarter 2 again to remove the filter. So this is how we add filters. Let's add one more filter to the right of this. Click filter again, and this time let's filter this by states. So let me drag the name of the state to this field section. As soon as I add the name here, we will see the names of the states appear here in the filter section. Let me click this filter and go to format your visual. In the slicer settings, let's select drop down this time. Now we see a drop down, and if I click the drop down, I'll see all the values. Let's click this filter, increase the width and set the height as well. Okay, now let's go to the options. First of all, let's go to the values and make it bold. Select font color white and go to the border. Select all the options to show the border. The border color will also be white. The width will be 2. And let's go to the background. Select the background color as this one. Now we can see it appears there. Let's turn off the slicer header. Now let's go to general. Select effects. Change the background color to this color. Okay, that's good. Change the title Let's turn this on, and the title will be states. Let's make it bold and change the color to white. Make it center like this. Let's remove the bold property, and now we have this drop down. If I select any of the value, for example this one, it will update all the report according to this selection. Let's remove the selection and it will update the report. So this is how we add filters. Now let me close the visualization, let me close the data, and this is our report. So this is the final report that we have. We have 3 cards for KPIs. We have filters to the right of the KPIs. We have a stacked column chart, 2 bar charts, and 1 line chart. We can add as many charts to this report as we want, and if you want to export this, you will go to File, click on Publish, and we can publish it from here to the Power BI service. Power BI service is an online service that you can send your reports there. You can also export this report to PDF or to a Power BI template as well. So this is how we design our reports in Power BI, and we can visualize our data according to our needs. So this is how we can use Power BI to import our data, to transform it, clean it, and then design a beautiful dashboard to visualize our data according to our needs. So this is the end of Power BI section, and we will start working on SQL from the next week. Thanks for watching.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.